by Councillor Tilley. All those in favour? Okay, agenda adopted. Regular meeting of Council October 16th minutes. Is there any errors or omissions in the minutes? You all had a copy sent to you previously? Anything? No. Okay, we'll table them as presented. Business arising from the minutes? No business arising from the minutes. Okay, Mayor's update. All right, so good evening, everyone. So as we move through the season, I want to take a moment to share an update on what's been happening in the town and highlight some of the work underway. So first, I want to say on November 11th, Remembrance Day, it was a pleasure and an honor to lay the wreath, assisted by Deputy Mayor Woodford, at the Holyrood Legion, representing all residents of our town. So we want to make sure that November 11th is recognized every year. The Legion does a wonderful job of the ceremony. At this time as well, we want to point out on November 8th is National Veterans of Indigenous Peoples Day, and that is important to honor and commemorate as well. Council continues to meet regularly to discuss budget planning, development applications, and long-term community priorities. We're all positively encouraged by all the council members, new and returning, who have jumped into their roles with their respective committees. Thank you. The residents are always welcome to view council agendas, minutes, and meeting schedules through the town's website. Holyrood's at its best when the community comes together, so keep an eye out for the upcoming events hosted by the town. And Recreation will have more information on that, so especially during this holiday season. Our amazing community groups are out there actively involved. So whether it's youth programming, recreation activities, volunteer opportunities, seasonal celebrations, there's something for everyone to enjoy. As the weather becomes more unpredictable, we encourage all the residents to take a moment to prepare with the changing road conditions and potential storms. Our fire department and emergency services teams remain ready to support the community, and we thank them, as always, for their dedication. We all saw our clocks fall back on the 2nd of November, real sign of the new fall season. Evenings are coming quicker, and with that comes the need to be extra careful, especially driving through the town. So be vigilant of your surroundings and make sure you keep safe. Your new council is working together with our staff to move forward and provide reliable services to and meaningful programs for our residents of our town. So our goal is to keep you informed. We ask for your patience as we work through our various initiatives, and we certainly welcome your suggestions and input. Please, if you have suggestion, comment, and observation, reach out. And the way to reach out is through our office, info@holyrood.ca. That's the key line in the business for us all. That's it for this week, or this month. Okay, no correspondence. Well, on to planning and development. And I'm looking to the chair of planning and development, which stands as now Councillor Bruce King.
I'll back you up as required.
Oh, sounds good. He got your back.
At this time, I'm going to turn it over to Councillor Windsor. Thank you there, Madam Mayor. Yes, we had our planning and development meeting. It was done virtually. Those attending were myself, Councillor Windsor, our CAO, Marjorie Gibbons, Robert Stacey, and Krista Turnbull. That was basically our first meeting, and I am really looking forward to planning and development. I think within the next 4 years, you're going to see a lot of, and it's probably not anything to do with us, but I'm sure we'll all take credit for it. But you'll see the town starting to pick up and houses being built. We got one of the biggest attractions that I think is the fact that the road, or most of the road, actually got paved, which is a major contributor to the people that want to come here in vehicles and stuff like that, and they don't want to drive over the ATV trail on that. But so we got a lot of good things coming in infrastructure and public works, water and sewer, and all these different, so it's all good regardless of what department it is. And I personally am looking forward to it. And there's a slew of motions here, but before I start, if Councillor Windsor has anything that he'd like to add before I get into the motions, he's more than welcome to chime in.
Sure. Just, I guess, a quick comment, I guess, in support of Councillor King's chair. He's the chair of the Planning and Development Committee, and we're aligned in our approach to, as we review the different application, which echoes what the previous committee did when Deputy Mayor Woodford was the chair, insofar as we are looking at the regulations as they are, so that they are applied consistently and fairly to all the applications. No favoritism or anything like that. Every file is unique, and sometimes it feels bad to reject some things, because there are some rejections here, and we'll explain the reasons why. But we look at things, Councillor King and I are very like-minded in that things are very black and white. Now, separate discussion is whether or not regulations should be amended. But that's something that goes outside of the normal business of the committee. Right. So that's the only thing I wanted to comment on that, and the piece around the subdivision developments and agreements, which we've talked about a lot in the previous committee and council have talked about a lot, learning the mistakes from the past to make sure that the subdivisions are done properly, so we don't have headaches for the residents, headaches for the town and the lawyers after the fact, because that's the only people who make money when things are done wrong, right? So we want to make sure things are done very correctly. So that's all I wanted to say, Councillor King. Thank you.
And Councillor Windsor is absolutely right, because he's come from an organization that's black and white, and I spent 40 some odd years in a job that's black and white. It's either yes or no. And if it can be done, that's fine. But if it can't be done, then here's the reason why it can't be done. Right? It's not just. Okay. Anyway, we're going to move right along. First one is going to be the permits list, and be it resolved to table and approve the attached permits list. Were issued from October 8th into November 14th, 2025. Permits 10-0290-25 to 11-0298-25, and includes permits for occupancy for residential permits, a garage repairs, patio, pool, and general repairs. So moved.
Okay, moved by Councillor King, seconded by Councillor Windsor. Any discussion? No, all in favor? Any contravene? Motion passed.
The next one is its location is Brophy's Road, a proposed subdivisional concept plan. The zoning is PDA, which is planned development area, and RLD1, which is residential low density. Be it resolved to approve the application in principle, subject to the town's municipal plan and development regulations and subdivision regulations. So moved.
Okay, moved by Councillor King, seconded by Councillor Windsor. Any discussion, questions, or comments?
Maybe just a comment, just so all the council clearly understand, that is a concept plan.
Yeah.
Right?
Concept.
So it's excellent to see developers are keen here, and for us as council, we welcome that. But it is a concept, right? And it's subject to all the regulations and subject to formal binding legal agreements being put in place. Okay?
Okay. Anyone else? No? Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All in favor? All right, no contravene. Okay, motion accepted.
The next one, its location is number 1 Golden Eagle Way. It's a proposed residential extension. It's RMD. Be it resolved to refuse the above application, as the applicant does not conform with the town's municipal plan and development regulations. Section C, para 2 of the Holyrood Development Regulations states that properties situated on existing corner lots shall be deemed to have 2 street frontages and shall be required to maintain the minimum building line setback on both the primary and the flanking street. So moved.
Okay, moved by Councillor King, seconded by Councillor Windsor. Further discussion, comments, questions? No. So just make sure that if you are voting for it, you're voting to refuse the application. Just make sure that there's no confusion there.
And maybe just for, you know, the rest of the councillors, the key point here is the setback, right? Meaning the distance from that road. So the proposed extension to the home would bring that property effectively too close into a non-compliant situation with the setback distance that the regulations call for.
Okay. All right, moved in, seconded. So, we'll vote. All in favor to refuse? All right. No contravene. Motion passed.
And the next one is located at 158 Country Path. It's a home-based business office. It's zoned RMD. Be it resolved to approve the above application in principle, subject to the town's municipal plan and development regulations. This application is for a home office, was advertised, and no comments were received by the deadline. So moved.
Okay, moved by Councillor King, seconded by Deputy Mayor Woodford. Any further comments or discussion? No, straightforward. Okay, all those in favor? All right. Okay, no contravene. Motion passed. Up again.
The next one is located at 6 Salmon Line. It's residential, MD. Be it resolved to refuse the above application as the application does not conform with the town's municipal plan and development regulations. The minimum standard for residential lot frontage is 23 meters, and this lot has 19.998 meters. So moved.
Okay, moved by Councillor King, seconded by Councillor Story. Okay, any comments, discussion? No, I think it was spelled out in the thing, the reason why. Okay, all those in favor? All right, no contravene, passed. Okay.
The next one is located at 209-211 Conception Bay Highway. It's residential. It's zoned RMD. Be it resolved to refuse the above application as the application does not conform with the town's municipal plan and development regulations. Currently, there is a single dwelling existing at 209-211 Conception Bay Highway, Holyrood. Holyrood Development Regulations, Schedule A states that single dwellings mean one building containing a single dwelling unit for the use of one family, placed on its own lot and can include a subsidiary apartment. So moved.
Okay, moved by Councillor King, seconded by Councillor Windsor. Further discussion, questions, comments?
That's a different one.
It is a different one, but essentially the individual wants to build a home on this particular property. There's already a home on that property.
Okay.
And
So it's not like a back lot? Okay.
no. And I believe that the intention would be for the individuals to habitate in one dwelling while the other is being constructed. But regulations say that only one property can exist on a lot at one time. It could be I'm surmising here, a demolition permit application to follow that, but it's the way the regulations are written.
Yes.
And it's not subdivided into two lots.
Yes, the survey is not currently subdivided to
Divided.
show as one lot, right?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Any other questions or discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any contravene? Motion passed.
The next one is a water connection request. Be it resolved to refuse the request for connection to the town's water system. The resident is not within the municipal boundaries of Holyrood, so that should be a very easy one.
Okay.
So moved.
Moved by Councillor King, seconded by Deputy Mayor Woodford.
That's right.
Any,
You gotta come to the other door.
so no other comments or discussion? All right, all those in favor? Aye. No contravene, motion passed. All right, Councillor King, is that? You have something to say? And that's because it was a long process through the elections and there was some stuff kind of, yeah, backlog. Yep, shouldn't be that long each month usually. All right, onward and upward to recreation and community events, where we have Councillor Crawley. That's going to give us an update.
Thank you, Mayor Crawley. The Recreation Community Services Committee met on November 3rd. In attendance was Carl Hacko, Mayor Crawley, Councillor Tilley, the Town of Holyrood CAO Marjorie Gibbons, and myself, Councillor Crawley. Since this was our first meeting after the elections, we went over the Town of Holyrood business plan for the Department of Recreation and Community Service. The business plan outlined 2026 community events that will be scheduled, and we also discussed additional community events that we may want to include in the 2026 calendar. The committee discussed current programs that are offered in the town, and it's great to hear that some of our programs that are being offered within the town are running at full capacity. Our committee discussed all of the non-recreational facilities within the town. The committee was provided with the first draft of the Memorandum of Understanding between the Town of Holyrood and the Holyrood Trail Association. The Town of Holyrood's Recreation and Community Services 2025 budget was reviewed to date and made some suggestions to the 2026 that will be discussed at the council and the RAFID at the time. The committee also reviewed the Christmas Holyrood flyer that will be circulated in the coming weeks. The flyer provides residents information on upcoming activities that will be scheduled in the town. Councilor Tilley, is there anything that I have missed or that you would like to add to the meeting held on November 3rd?
Thank you for that update. No, I don't think. The big thing, I guess, is that I received my flyer in the mail today. So, as everybody should do, take it and put it on your fridge and just have it there, because that's where it is for me. And I like that it's nice and big and bold, and you can see it. Again, as Councillor Crawley said, this is our first meeting, and I guess you're going to hear a lot throughout the room tonight. Is that we're just kind of getting our feet wet with our new committees and getting a snapshot of what's coming. However, our director, Kyle Hacko, has everything well running for Christmas, which we're looking forward to getting some Christmas events started and going, and we all got to mark our calendar for our Christmas parade.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Hey, is there any questions or discussion? Find a recreation? Excellent. Okay, we're to Infrastructure and Public Works, where we have Committee Chair, Councillor Windsor.
Hopefully not as long as our last update, hey, Councillor King. But there's a few things here, though, I'll have to get through. There are two significant motions that we'll speak of. I'll give an update on our meeting and the preamble before those motions. So Infrastructure and Public Works first met on Thursday, October 30th. And joining the committee, of course, is Councillor Charlotte Story, right? Welcome. And I thought that was great. And it's always nice to have a cold set of eyes coming into something, asking lots of good questions. It always helps move things forward. And sometimes you might not think of something and someone new brings a fresh perspective. So that's welcome. So if I missed anything, well, I'll turn it over to you at the end in case you wanted to comment on anything. But I'll get into the update. Also in attendance to our committee, of course, Director Robert Stacey and Madam CAO Gibbons. Number of items here that I will touch on as briefly as I can, 7 or 8 of them. So I think the more important thing is the project updates and motions. right off the hop, we're talking about the millings, so asphalt millings that come from Route 60, and a resident did raise a question about that, and they were being used on a Butterpot Road. That practice is it's called into question. There can be issues with that. The way the millings can harden and settle being problematic for snow clearing in the future. To a lesser extent, some questions around, you know, any leaching from that in terms of like the asphalt itself. I'm not an environmental person, I'm not touch that. But that practice was discussed and that's being discontinued effective immediately. We shouldn't do that. I think people put their hearts in the right place and think they're making an improvement, but it can create issues. I think staff intervened in a timely fashion to remove that material, and it won't be something that we'll be doing again. Paving. Our director took us through a register or priority listing of projects for our town. Roads that are ranked by age, condition, the number of residents that live on the roads, and a rough estimate on what it will cost to improve those roads that are already paved, and also the same for roads that are not paved, and when council would decide to do that and spend that money. So that was is always nice to have a director update council on that, and of course this committee and Councillor Story seen that for the first time, and it was very timely because there had been a couple of requests recently from specific residents in specific areas about when will our road get improved or paved, for being a gravel road to start with, right? So there is a ranking system for that, just so everyone understands it. It's not arbitrary. And our 2026 budget process is making some considerations for that. And I don't think it'd be appropriate for me to name them at this time. That's something the council has been talking about as part of the budget deliberations. I'll skip that one because that's going to be the wastewater treatment, because that's part of the project update. There was another one similar to the road discussion we just had. Equipment fleet, and on the topic of winter readiness and our assets and our vehicles. So one in particular, 2000, that's 25 years old, Ford, that's the old fire department rescue unit, you might remember us talking about that. That needs over $10,000 in repairs, right? So the committee discussed investigating what it looks like to replace that. Again, ties into some of the budget stuff, but we're always looking at the condition of the assets and what we need to do to repair them or replace them and how that happens. Some vehicles will be sold. We get money back for the sales, plus some budgetary contributions, so that'll all get worked out, but it's something that the committee's talking about in terms of public works fleet. Next one is we talked about drainage. This is something that comes up from time to time in different areas. This one in particular is around Eagle Drive and McGraw's Road. So that is something that can be a little bit more problematic or raising questions around that development, as the town has not actually taken over ownership legally of this area, right? And we had to be very cautious about the drainage improvements that we make. Again, things can't be a knee-jerk reaction. They got to be done properly and follow the process. And I don't want to open up Pandora's box here with some of these files, so we close some of the other matters that are related to them. Right? Another one, again, it's a water line replacement. That's Penny's Lane. I think we can talk about that because I think we've all confirmed that's something that we would like to look into further. And the asset integrity list that director is holding, for the age of water lines, number of times we've had leaks, that sort of thing. So I think this committee is comfortable in saying that yes, the Penny's Lane is something that we want to do in the budget. Last but not least, before I do the motions on the projects, guys, is on Fury's Woodpath, and this touches on safety. So apologies, safety committee didn't reach out on this one, but I think it's very clear. So the question is around snow clearing on a street grade that's higher than the 10% maximum that is in our regulations. Number one is we would never want to put our staff and operators at risk. So this particular road is in excess of the street grade criteria, 10%. So our recommendation is, and it agrees with the prior recommendation, by the way. This came up before.
Right.
This is not the first time this is being raised. The recommendation is to not extend the boundary or limits of what Public Works is already servicing. And again, this one is our regulations, and two, safety being paramount to all other things.
And that would be until the road comes up to conformity, right?
Well,
Would that be-
probably not going to
But
change
if
the
we're not
grade
going
of
to
the road.
change the grade of the road. Yeah, okay.
And, you know, the development was approved by prior council. So
I see. Okay,
get into that, I guess.
yeah. I get you. Okay.
Before I do the project motions and preamble, I'll turn to Councillor Story if you'd like to comment on anything at all there, or I missed anything.
No, I think you pretty well covered it all, and it is my new, so I appreciate that you asked me if there's any input I could, but I think you're doing a fabulous job.
Excellent.
Thanks. Yeah. I gave her Tim Hortons gift card earlier to say that.
I heard nothing.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right, boys. So, oh, boy,
La,
that's
la,
a good
la.
one. Not as good as Councillor Bruce King, though.
No, that's right.
He's
Getting
king.
close though.
So, guys, there's there's two motions here that are basically applications for funding. We're not spending any money at this point in
Right.
time, Mayor. But before I read them, I just want to a few comments on the wastewater system generally. You know, the town is committed to improving the sewer system. We need to maintain and improve the services that are being offered by the town. We've talked about this in the previous council, getting back to basics. We heard it loud and clear when councillor candidates were knocking on doors and we had to meet the candidates night. It was, you know, of not the top priority, but certainly among the top 2 or 3
Among the top.
priorities, right? This process is already well underway of replacing the wastewater treatment plant, and that's one step in a much larger plan. Unfortunately, you know, we're all impatient, like we want to have it happen tomorrow, right? It takes time, it takes years, and especially when you start talking about the environment, right? So these projects are tied in quite heavily to the provincial Department of Environment and federal regulations as well for discharge. But a little update, within the project we have just completed the testing on the sludge that's in the system.
Yay.
This is the oxidation ditch, clarifier, and holding tank, right? So those are the technical terms, I guess, right, for the ditch. It's a very long process. Over 200 samples, believe it or not, were taken, and they all have different types of tests done. They go to a third-party lab. We are now waiting for a report to come back from the lab and the engineers and scientists who are doing that. Once that is completed, we can actually do the clean out of the oxidation ditch, clarifier, and holding tank. Then what needs to happen, so there will be a permit granted, is already granted for the discharge, a bypass, we'll say. So now our ditch is pumped out. Now the ditch needs to be inspected structurally. Cracks or repairs, all these sorts of things. So potentially that might have to be repaired, but we don't know. So we got to get it all pumped out first. Meanwhile, the system's in bypass to see, approved by the environment, and inspect that tank and
See
the
where we
report
go.
coming from that. What are the next steps on the found work? Hopefully not too much found work, but you never know with these things. So it does take some time, and we want to make sure we do it properly so we have a long-term sustainable solution for this town. Now, coming back to the motions. So as part of the upgrade, we need to replace the outfall pipe with a larger pipe that'll accommodate the new system and the larger volume of wastewater that is expected to be flowing through it. That'll be phase 2. Phase 3 will give us a new main beach lift station. So that will be down by the station diner, right? And staff and council will be aware of this, and probably a lot of residents too.
Yeah.
They're paying attention and checking their mail and going to the station down or the boardwalk, hiking at certain times. You get that, you know, stench. That's not all coming from the oxidation ditch. Some of that's coming from this lift station as
Yeah.
well, right? And we've had that out of commission, out of service quite a number of times, getting infiltrated by the seawater. So that needs to be completely redesigned and replaced. So that's another part of this project, phase 3. And there'll be a motion to apply for funding, federal funding. So the projects, I mean, they're very large, they're complicated, they're time consuming, a lot of permits required from different stakeholders. Town is doing an excellent job. Thank you for your leadership, CAO Gibbons, even though I get really impatient at times. Like, where's this to? How was that done yet? Right? But
It's true, we can attest.
you're doing the right thing. You're doing the right thing, and you're following the right process. And you know, we will be challenging the province where required, where we do feel that they are putting roadblocks in place, but not working as efficiently as we'd like them to. We will challenge them in a
Right.
respectful, professional manner to do so. Right? And the end result will be worth it. It will be worth it. But we have to do it correctly. If it's not done right, it's not worth doing at all.
Yeah, if a job's
Okay.
worth doing, it's worth doing well.
So I appreciate your patience on some of the preamble, kind of setting up the motions.
But Councillor Windsor, that was a great explanation, so thank you. Very thorough and very detailed.
Yeah.
There should be no question
You're
after that.
welcome, and I won't commit to any dates yet at this point in time, because I don't think it'd be appropriate, nowhere near appropriate to do so, and it'll only be called into
Frustration.
question or incorrect later, because there are some unknowns here still. Yeah.
But it's coming.
We are working on it very hard. Okay. The motions. Be it resolved, the Town of Holyrood apply to Department of Transportation Municipal Infrastructure for the Canadian Housing Infrastructure Fund, known as CHIF, to replace and install a new sewer outfall pipe at the wastewater treatment plant for outfall discharge. The scope of work is a component of a sewer upgrade strategy to improve the overall sewer system in the town. The total cost of the project is $828,075.90, with the town contributing 10%, $88,216.62. Town's share has been secured through Royal Bank financing. So moved. This is a 90-10 project.
Yeah. Moved by Councillor Windsor, seconded by Councillor Crawley. Any further discussion or questions? Although I think, like I said,
Okay,
did a really great job.
okay, thank
So
you.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. No contravene, motion passed.
Okay, so the second motion, again, applying for some money, another 90-10 project. Be it resolved, the Town of Holyrood apply to the Department of Transportation Municipal Infrastructure for the Canadian Housing Infrastructure Fund, known as CHIF, to replace and install a new Main Beach lift station as a component of our long-term strategy to improve the sewer system in the town. The present lift station is infiltrated by seawater and has had performance issues resulting in continuous repairs and foul odors. This project is phase 3 of the sewer improvement strategy. The cost of the project is $1.9 million, $1,912,403.58, with the town contributing 10% at $191,240.35. The town's share has been secured through Royal Bank financing. So moved.
Okay, moved by Councillor Windsor, seconded by Councillor Story. Any other questions or comments?
Just that these are applications.
These are
At
applications.
this time,
That's
we're
as
not
far
moving
as we
spending
go.
money at this
Yeah.
point in time. There's a lot of work that remains to be done, but we need to get the applications in because that process takes time as well.
That's
And
right.
We really appreciate the government for making available these programs to municipalities. Otherwise, this
Yeah,
municipality
otherwise it would never be able to afford
that.
it. No, and it needs to be done,
Yeah.
so. Yep, okay, so all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, no contravene, motion passed.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Take a
much,
break.
Councillor Windsor and
Very good.
Councillor Story. Okay, economic development, we're calling on Deputy Mayor Woodford. That is you for our update.
Good evening, everybody.
Sorry, let's start over. Rewind. Good evening, everybody. The Economic Development Committee, we met on November 17th with Mayor Crawley, our CAO Marjorie Gibbons, and myself in attendance. No new applications at this time, unfortunately. But our CAO did have her monthly meeting with the Marine Institute, specifically with Kelly Santos there, to discuss an upcoming event that we're partnering with Marine Institute on. Now, many of you are aware, we tried to do an event back in October with our business community. However, that did not pan out. We didn't get the volume of responses that we needed to hold the event. I think that with the provincial election and the municipal election, everything was coming to a head, and really we weren't able to put together enough people to make it worthwhile. So this is another type of event where the launch is they have clients from all over the world that are coming to that center to do work at that center. And many times when they get here, they are looking for other sources, other resources that they need that Marine Institute doesn't offer, but they need it to complete their scope of work. And they don't realize it until they get here. So what the Marine Institute has reached out to us with is that we want to have an event. We need to identify what resources that we need, and we want to be able to bring in the business communities and other, within the town, and other, organizations outside of the town. Whatever they have identified, we need to try to fill that gap. So that's what this event will do. So we don't have a date or anything set. It will be sometime in the spring of or the winter of 2026, but we're working on that. The other thing that we discussed was Horizon Drive, which is off of Liam Hickey. That is something that work had been completed in 2021, and we need to look at paying the outstanding balance that's due on that piece of work. So that will be discussed with all of council as well. The CAO is currently working on a new OHR report, because that report is going to be used to develop a proposal for the OHR contract that we have with ACOA. And of course, we still have issues with non-registration of companies and businesses here in Holyrood. It's still a struggle, but it's on our radar. We are trying to do everything we can to entice all businesses to register with the town. And we have to come up with, I guess, a new approach and a new vision in 2026 of how we're going to be successful with that. So, if anyone has any ideas, we welcome those ideas. We're going to reach out to other communities to see what they're doing and what's working for them. And hopefully we can take some of that information and see what works for us. But, we want to let everyone know, our current registered business owners, that yes, it is on our radar. Yes, we do try to find ways to get people to register. And we will continue to do that until we're successful at it. Other than that, I think that's it for economic development, Mayor.
Yeah, I don't have much to add, except it's too bad those businesses that don't register, because they're missing so many opportunities to be, marketed and advertised by the town, and could increase their business. So I think it's very unfortunate they don't see the value in registering and how much potential business that they could gain by doing that. But hopefully, like I said, we'll reinvent the message. We'll figure it out. Yeah. Keep working on it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And, part of it is availing of, they may not be aware of the opportunities and services that the town can provide by being a proper participant. The other piece, though, is like being a good corporate citizen in the town, right? So
Yes.
it's not fair to the existing business owners who are registered, paying their share, also availing of some opportunity that comes back the other way to them. It's not fair to them.
Yeah.
So how do you chase that down is a very good question. Be interesting to see what other municipalities are doing.
Yes.
Yeah.
It will be. But yeah, it's an ongoing battle for sure, but we'll figure it out. Because like I said, these opportunities now with the launch, and they're looking for certain businesses, and they're probably here. But we can't promote them to the launch if we don't have, they're not registered, and we, you know, in our eyes, they don't exist. Is there anyone, yeah? Councillor
Yes,
Sawyer?
I'm just listening to you, and you know, small business, I guess they're afraid of taxes, but we need the taxes for developing the infrastructure in Holyrood, and I guess they don't realize what they're missing, like adding value to their business.
Absolutely.
So I don't know if you can, you know, provide a list to them or have meetings that they can advertise or let the community know what they offer and
Yeah,
how,
and we-
we can support them.
Yeah, and we've done that in the past, Charlotte. Yeah, we've gone out with different flyers and, you know, to say, this is why you should register, this is what we can offer you. It's, the messaging is still not getting, we're still not getting the response
that
that
right?
we need.
Could-
And we've had business sessions and, you know, networking sessions and things over the
Breakfasts and
years.
brunches and
Yeah, and it's still, we still have a rather large contingent of
Well, one thing, we know
Of
they're
at-
there.
you know,
right?
at-home
We know
businesses
they're
not
there,
registered,
so,
yeah.
you know, how do you get them
Yeah.
to come on side and, all right, that was it.
Well,
Yeah.
we got some avenues. We'll we'll investigate and keep going with the message. Okay. All right. If that's if we're good there, we have a public safety update. Councillor Tilley and her counterpart, Councillor Crawley.
Counterpart in both committees, so
I
we're going to be doing good at
know.
working together in the next
Cheers.
4 years.
What a
We are
team.
going to be a good team. So again, we had our public safety meeting was held on November 4th. In attendance was our fire chief Rideout. It was Mayor Crowley, Councillor Crowley, our CAO Marjorie Gibbons, and myself. As most other committees, this was our first meeting. So of course it was bringing Councillor Crowley up to speed on everything that's going on and ongoing with our emergency preparedness plans and our, you know, never-ending battle with ATVs, unlawful use, and those kind of things. We did have some serious talk, though, about a plan going forward over the next few years to see if we can develop something to help with what the residents are saying to us. In our meet the candidates and as well as in door knocking, we heard the same things: safety on the boardwalk, safety with the roadways and the ditchings, and, you know, trying to be able to walk up CBS Highway, as well as, of course, the ATV and dirt bike operations. Again, as we all know, this is not something that's a quick fix. It's something that we have to develop, and I know I've spoke to the mayor about this many of times, and we all agree that this is something that we need to do, not just as the town of Holyrood, but as the municipalities around us. Again, ATV and dirt biking are a sport that is to be enjoyed by all. It can be done safely. I walk the boardwalk, I walk the trails. 99% of what you meet are families out for a drive and are out doing, you know, they are polite, they're courteous, they're helmets used, driving cautiously. But again, we do have a problem, and that's not something that I'm saying that we don't, with unlawful use of ATVs and dirt bikes. Again, something else that we spoke about is that seems to be, we didn't get any rain this summer, as much as I tried to, you know, do anything I
rain
could to
dances.
make it rain this summer with our summer fires. But we all seem to be making up for it in the month of November. So of course, again, in the month of November, we get into a lot of high winds. We had talk about safety, especially down around the North Side Road and school. Just making sure that we have every safety precaution that we can down there for our public works and our residents. Like I said, that road can get pretty nasty when the tidal surges come in. And we might be able to change a lot of things, but that's something that we cannot change, is tidal surges and weather. As much as people might wish that the winter doesn't happen, I am, for one, wishing for Snowmageddon 2.0, because the more water we can get on the woods and on the ground, in our wells. I know, everybody looks at me.
Turn off the mic, turn it.
Yep. I had a conversation at the post office the other day, and I thought I was going to be escorted out. But again, I want to bring snow. From my experiences with forest fires, snow is the only thing that's going to help. And I really, met a lot of people, and it was a great experience this summer with our disaster, but I never want to see it again in our town. So again, I'm hoping for the snow. Another thing too that we really wanted to stress, as well as I've been stressing since it started, is the Voyant Alert. I actually had someone come up to me and go, well, we don't hear about anything because I'm not on Facebook. And I said, well, have you heard of Voyant Alert? Nope, never heard about it. Mm-hmm. I found it very hard to believe that residents have not heard about it through shoreline posts, through flyers gone out in the mail, through phone calls to every resident. So again, if anyone has any questions with Voyant Alert, please stop into the town, grab one of the councillors that you see them. We will help. We will stop and help you get it, because Voyant Alert is the way you're going to know about everything that's ongoing. I'm rambling on a little bit here. I never follow notes very good. Councillor Crowley, is there anything that I missed that you would like to add?
I believe you covered it all. Thank you, Council Tilly, for your update.
Well, on that note, the next meeting, I do believe, is December the 1st, which is only around the corner, and we'll continue on with hopefully a 4-year plan that's going to see if we can make some difference in public safety for our residents.
Excellent. Okay. No other discussion or comments, questions? No. Okay, communications, where Councillor Story is our chair.
Good evening, everyone, and Mayor Crawley. The update on communications, our committee has not met before this meeting. We have gathered our department's literature, and we will be updating it at the next meeting with Bruce King, who is on the communication committee. But I do have a motion. A motion to be expected is to be resolved, the Town of Holyrood accept the committee updates and recommendations as presented in the committee reports provided by the various departments and made available to all councillors for consideration.
Hey,
So moved.
Moved by Councillor Story, seconded by Councillor King. Any questions or comments? No.
Thank
Okay.
you.
All in favor? Aye. No contravene. Motion moved. Okay. Corporate Services and Administration, new chair, Deputy Mayor Woodford.
Thank you, Mayor. The Corporate Services and Administration Committee, we met on November 6th with Mayor Crawley, CAO Gibbons, Director Searle, and myself in attendance. New committee for me. Accounts were reviewed and accepted as was reported and presented to us. For me, as a new member of the committee, I was asking how the corporate account was reconciled. Because as you can remember at the last meeting, there was a significant amount, almost $1 million, from the corporate account, paid out from the corporate account. So I wanted them to explain to me how that worked. And so I want to share with you guys, our public as well, how those capital projects get paid out. So most of our capital projects have to be vetted through Department of Municipal Infrastructure, as we just saw with the motions that Councillor Windsor just did. And they are responsible for the administration of federal, provincial funding programs, like our buildings, our water, our sewer, our roads. So this department reviews and approves the work completed prior to releasing the funds to the town for payment to contractors. And there is a 10% holdback until the final inspection by the governing engineering company happens. On the other hand, projects funded by a COA, they follow a different process. So original invoices from the construction or design companies must be submitted and approved before money is released to the town for payment. So a little bit different. However, because of the processes that we have to follow for a COA and for provincial government, you're going to see times that you're going to have that big lot of money that's going out basically within a certain period of time. But what we do is we motion it for that period. So when we looked at what was motioned at the last meeting, it was invoices from February 28th to October 1st. So that was a big chunk of change, and that's why. But the projects that were included in those payouts included the water tank, the Salmon Airline water project, the festival grounds, the community center, the sewer project, the water feasibility and sustainability study, and wastewater treatment plant. Now you can say, yes, well, we haven't seen our festival grounds yet, or we haven't seen our community center. Yes, but there's design.
Yeah.
So that's what you're seeing being paid out at this stage. So I just wanted to share it out with the public, because when you see that big number, it's like, how much? That was a lot of money to be paid out, but it is for almost the entire year, from February until October.
And capital works projects.
Yes. A budget 2026, as you know, the mayor talked about in her update, is well underway. Departments have submitted their budgets in an effort to maintain spending on a needs basis. And as part of the budget consultation process, submissions and survey results were reviewed. There was an excellent response this year from the survey.
Excellent.
We had 107 respondents. And
amazing.
a lot of the information contained in those responses aligned with our operational review and strategic plan, the recommendations of moving forward and what we're doing. So it's great to see that we're all kind of on the same path, which is great. So for Councillor Windsor, we also discussed the request to purchase a used water repair van.
I realized
You read that after the
You
fact.
skipped it.
we spoke earlier, when you said that would be looked at in the 2026 budget. But that's how good you are.
I tell you, we're so good.
Purchase now.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we looked at that because, of course,
Christmas comes early.
the 2000 rescue vehicle has seen its day, and where we did recommend that it was definitely a necessity. With regards to the municipal assessments, for the town, of course, we go out and we tell everyone, if you're not happy with your assessment, to appeal your assessment. Well, 18 assessments were appealed and accepted. The appeals were accepted. And there are 14 assessments or 14 appeals that are scheduled for January with the new Commission of Appeals. So that's great news. So nice to get that information out there. So prompt the public, if you are not happy, you should take the time, do an appeal.
Follow the process.
The QP contract has been ratified, which is fantastic. Great work by all those involved. But we are waiting for the official documents so our mayor can sign them. So woohoo on that one. I think I do have a couple of motions as well.
You do.
Yes, of course, I have to pay the bills, as you would say.
Yeah.
Be it resolved, those accounts tabled in the amount of $228,472.28, check numbers D5189 to D5231 and 47535 to 47623, be approved for payment from the general account. So moved.
Moved by Councillor Woodford, seconded by Councillor Story. Thank you. Any further questions or comments? No. All those in favor?
And our bank book balance is $99,161.96. That's a great bank book balance. I'd like to have that in my account.
Going into December, it's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, November going into December.
We have another motion for the conference. Be it resolved, the Town of Holyrood approved the request from Councillor Bruce King to attend the M&L conference in Corner Brook on November 20th to the 22nd. The cost of the conference, including registration, hotel, travel, and per diem, is $1,938.35. These costs are valid and are available through the annual budget for 2025. And this conference is an opportunity to engage with other municipalities and discuss best practices which can be considered within our town. So moved.
Okay, moved by Councillor Woodford, seconded by Councillor Tilley. Okay. And we always agree that these are great networking opportunities, and we should always send someone from the town. So thank you, King. Yeah, thank you for stepping up and having the availability to go.
One of the questions I will be asking is, what do the other communities do with regards to businesses that are not?
That's great. Yeah. When you're
Might have an
when
answer
you're
for that
wandering
one.
around the rooms, that's great. Yeah, it's
Might
true.
involve gunfire.
I didn't hear that. Strike that from the register.
There's so many things on la la la.
The next, of course, is the van that we have all been talking about.
Sorry,
I'll just.
we didn't
oh,
vote.
sorry.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
We
sorry.
didn't- Yeah. All those in favor of? Okay. Motion passed.
Getting ahead of
No
myself.
contravene.
Sorry, Councillor King.
I know. Okay, Councillor Woodford.
The
Deputy
next is
Mayor.
the van. The town previously used a refurbished ambulance for their water leak purposes. However, that vehicle has outlived its usefulness and is too costly to repair and become roadworthy. The investment in the vehicle enables our crew, our public works crew, to respond much quicker and much more efficiently with all the supplies which may be required to correct a leak. So be it resolved, the Town of Holyrood proceed with the purchase of a used van to replace the van that was currently used to respond to water leaks with all the necessary supplies. This new van is a 2019 Ford Transit 250 and will cost the town $22,885 HST included. These monies are available through our budget. So moved.
Moved by Councillor Woodford, seconded by Councillor Crawley. Okay. Any further discussion or questions? I think it was
we've
already
discussed it.
kind of
Yeah.
ran through
Yeah.
both sides.
Awesome, thank you. One little comment, so these vans, they're outfitted or kitted up with shelving inside, right? To organize all the tools, parts, and bits and bobs that the team needs to respond to a leak and repair that leak efficiently. So there's an abundance of shelving available in the shop at the Public Works Depot. We have a lot of equipment there, so there's no further expenditures. We don't anticipate
Yeah.
having to send this to Action Trucks for more expenditure for someone to outfit it. Guys can take care of that based on materials that we have on
Excellent.
hand. Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, so all those in favor? Aye, no contravene, motion passed. Keep it
The
going.
next is our CUPE agreement. Be it resolved, the Town of Holyrood approve the agreed upon contract with CUPE Local 3768 for our employees. This agreement was secured through open and fair negotiations and was approved through a ratification vote of the local membership. So moved.
Moved by Councillor Woodford, seconded by Councillor Tilley. Okay. Like I said, now we get that signed off,
document.
and it's ready for the new year without any extensions. It's fantastic. Thank you to our consultant and our Madam CAO for working with the union on this and working many evenings and emails and conversations. It's fantastic that it got done. Early even. Hey, any other discussion, comments, questions? No? All those in favor? Aye. No contravene, motion passed.
And the last one is the assessments. Be it resolved, the Town of Holyrood appoint Mitch Moran as the Commissioner for Municipal Assessment for the Town of Holyrood for a 2-year period, 2026 and 2027. So moved.
Moved by Councillor Woodford, seconded by Councillor King. Any questions or comments? No. All those in favor? Aye, and motion carried.
And that's it for corporate
And that's it for corporate
services.
services.
Thank you.
Okay, so now we go round table for new business. I do want to say that following Robert's rules, we are trying to stick to 2-minute limit of new business. Okay, so Deputy Mayor Woodford, you can count it.
The only thing
us
I
off.
wanted to add on to your update was, of course, the Remembrance Day event that we both attended. It was very well done at the Legion because of what pending weather. It was a great turnout, even though it was an inside event. I just wanted to thank the Legion, the Star of the Sea, and the cadets for putting off such a great event.
You're
That's
right,
it.
and I was remiss in mentioning
That's
Star
okay.
to See with their
That's why
luncheon
I'm
that
here.
they provided. Yes, that's why we have a team. Excellent. Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Councillor Crawley?
No new update at this time.
Okay, thank you. Councillor King? And no, you're not taking her 2 minutes. I knew.
I won't take her 2 minutes if you tell me the numbers for the 6:49 tomorrow. You can guess.
Sorry.
The 2 minutes don't kick in until I start talking. So I just got 2 points and it's going to be really, really quick. The first one is the radon kits. They're coming in soon. They're already in. Actually,
Okay.
when the CEO starts talking, that takes away from my 2 minutes. But there's a online thing tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. If you're booked, you will get to be able to explain it. And that's all good. Just as a point for everybody that's out there, please make sure that you sign up for the kits. It takes a couple of seconds to actually do it. There's 100 kits there. And if you look at the VOCM news last week, there was 253 done down in CBS. 29% of them were over Health Canada standards, which breaks down to 1 home in 3, which is very important. So we need to get that done. The last one, the Heritage Committee is having their tea on December the 11th at 2 o'clock. It's a free event, but you can get your tickets at the town office right here. And thank you, Madam Mayor.
Excellent. Thank you. Councillor Story?
Yes, I have no new business at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Tilley?
I will be short and to the point. I guess I get thing that I always did a little safety thing at the end of the go around, so I just wanted to add another one. I've noticed when I've been out and about lately that with all the winds we've had, there's a lot of trees that are unstable and are uplifted from its roots. So in my walk on Saturday, I noticed people were out putting up their Christmas festive decorations and everything. So just have a little bit of caution when you're out and about and when you're doing things in your yard of anything that's after flying around and of those trees that are falling in debris that has gone in places they shouldn't be due to the winds.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you, Councillor Tilley and Councillor Windsor.
So I had 5 or 6 things, that I want to talk about, but you had this new rule in place.
It's not new.
But okay, I'll play the game. I'll play the game. No, I only have one. I only have one thing actually, and you're taking away from my time. Right. So this topic bridges infrastructure and the safety and the finance. Street lighting. So I did my good deed this week. I reported a street light that was out, and I just want to communicate to all the residents. The process is very easy. Please visit our town website. You will see a button there, report streetlight issue or outage. That'll take you automatically take you to the portal for Newfoundland Light and Power. And it's all integrated with a map. So you can just zoom in on your street in question, and you'll find the street light, you'll click on it, and as a verification, it'll come up and say with the pole number, right? Now, I didn't realize I had that piece, the map piece. So when I saw it, I took a picture and noted the pole number. That's very important. Now I got to type that in. No, it's all on the map. You click the light, and then by the verification, I said, oh yeah, that pole number, that's the correct one. And you can report the street light is out, or the street light is on and won't turn off, or it's strobing, flashing on and off. So you can click one of those, and you just submit it, put in your email, and you submit it. And they come back and email you and say a work order has been generated, right? Hasn't been repaired yet. But I did this last year as well at a couple of different ones, and they took care of it very promptly. So it's a very efficient tool. So please do it. So if you're bored, drive around the town and report all the lights are out. And here's the finance piece, guys, because this came up when we were talking about our budget deliberations. Fun fact, $142,000 is what this town pays for the street lights. So let's make sure they're working.
And every street light they replace now, they put in with the LED ones, which is going to cut down the cost as well. So, yeah, energy efficient. Who's that thing? You said 5 things. Sorry. Okay. Deputy Mayor Woodford has something she needs to add.
Sorry, we just realised that, this public meeting, we weren't able to acknowledge the spook truncular, right?
Oh my
The
goodness,
event.
yeah. Holy Hannah,
because it
that's-
was a
came right around.
fantastic. We just wanted to thank all of the
Yes.
businesses and the organizations that came in and gave out goodies to all of the kids. I think there was,
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking down at Kyle, over 650
Kids, children.
tickets that were sold to this event. So it was a fantastic event. So thank you to the businesses and organizations that came out to participate in that.
Excellent.
Yes. Thank you.
Excellent. Okay. So that's it for new business. The date of the next meeting is December 9th, 2025 at 6 p.m., which will be our budget night. So we're ready. And can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting, please? Deputy Mayor Woodford, can I have a seconder? Councillor Tilley, thank you. That motion, all those in favor to adjourn the meeting? Aye, motion passed. Meeting adjourned.